But I can tell you conclusively that it's a waste of time. You know, all of us have a finite amount of time, and where we spend our marketing energy and efforts, it better be able to yield an ROI, or you're never going to grow the business, right? So there you go. Stay away from Pinterest. I know Noreen's big on Pinterest. I can just tell. I'm kidding, Noreen. I don't know whether you're big on Pinterest. So love to get into the Q&A. You know, I remain extremely excited, bullish on, you know, the overall arc and market and where art and photography sales are going online, how it looks for artists direct, you know, the home decor category of which your guys' products fit into has just been one of the beneficiaries, one of the winners of this whole dumpster fire of the pandemic situation we've been in. You know, anything home decor across the board, sales have been through the roof. We've seen that. It's incredible. Now, I don't mean to paint a rosy situation on it. It doesn't mean it's easy. You know, you have to have the tension and get your art, your photography, your sculpture, Stephen, in front of eyeballs, and that's sort of the ball game. You know, I ran one of these sessions on Wednesday, okay, and it was one of my favorite sessions of all time because this lady and well put together, well coiffed, amazing piece of art on the wall behind her, and she's like, you know, I'm contemplating signing up, and my husband has been hearing bits and pieces, and he would just really like you to explain art storefronts in just a couple of seconds. And she's standing there like this behind the camera on the laptop, and then her husband's off to the side, and he's like, there's no way I'm going on this video, but let me just tell you, you know, and he's like retired, you know, they're in their like late 50s or 60s. So he's like, this is not my first rodeo. Okay. We've been down this for a long time. How do you pitch this whole thing? And it sort of put me on the spot. And I responded to him, artists and photographers suck at marketing. We help them get better. That's really what we do at the end of the day. And, you know, I back it up with the stat that we have a lot of customers. Some of them are knocking on the $1 million door and over. Yeah, no, it's not a lot, obviously, right? I see the ones that are high six figures, okay? I see the ones that are mid six figures. I see the ones that are knocking on the six-figure door. I see the ones that are at, you know, at around 50,000, and I see the ones that are still struggling to get a first sale. They only have one thing in common. They all need to get better at their marketing. And it's as important for the one making $1 million, how many holes they have in their marketing operation, as it is the one just getting started. And, you know, as I look at the potential career arc as an artist or photographer the next 10, 15, 20, 30 years, it's all about attention. We live in an attention economy. If you have the attention, you can do anything. Without the attention, you're not in the game. You're not selling anything, right? So at the end of the day, everyone's like, oh, you guys are a website company. You're this, you're that. No, artists and photographers suck at marketing. We teach you to get better, and we don't ever stop teaching you to get better. And we have a bit of a competitive advantage because we know how art and photography sells, because we've been doing this for a long time. And we study it very closely. I have a team that monitors all the data. We're constantly teaching. And, you know, we even had we call it our marketing product. Well, we had a meeting today. I mean, we are essentially an art business university. Yes, there's software and print on demand and merch and everything else that we do, but we're an art business university, right? And, you know, on every one of these calls, there's a bunch of people that have studied art history in college. And you can talk about all the masters and the periods and the different media types and Michelangelo and Van Gogh and on and on and on. But you never learned how to grow a sustainable business, did you? You never learned how to take your passion, your creative passion, and actually get it so it can support you, your family, and your dreams. So that's what we do. We're a graduate school with no graduates. And there never will be any graduates because they move the goalposts too damn quickly in today's day and age, right? Like by the time I am done making an in-depth tutorial on Facebook and Instagram ads and I send it out and I feel like I need a 2-week vacation, they update everything. The entire thing is out of date. The course was only relevant for like a week, you know? So the goalpost just moves so quickly. So I know conclusively every single solitary one of you, it's your biggest problem. All the rest of the problems are pretty easily solvable. You need to learn how to market. You need to learn how to get attention. We can talk about potential revenue sources. We can talk about how important it is to even just get one working. We can talk about how you had a good business going on with various different offline revenue sources, and then the pandemic ripped that rug right out from underneath you with no recourse, which is, you know, equal parts terrifying. But you can, in today's day and age, as a solopreneur, which most of you are, you don't have back office staff or someone to help you with marketing, you can build a sustainable business if you focus your energy and your efforts on the highest ROI marketing techniques and tactics that are out there. We teach you how to do that. You have the perspective of how long it takes, and you stay in doing the work diligently, which no artist or photographers ever do. Everyone just like quits. And as a final, one of the things that we do regularly in terms of our teaching, the Art Business University, is we have what are called office hours. And they're sessions just like these with all of our customers. We hold multiple a week. And what started out as myself, members of my marketing team, teaching all the various different things, has since morphed into we have customers that are really, really good at various different things. And so we've started bringing them in to teach various different sessions. And, again, in Art Business University, right? So we have a gal that just does accounting, and she does accounting for all the small businesses. And so she teaches you how to handle all the accounting of the art business. We had a gal that has built a massive business, becoming the official licensee on images, right? So she taught how to do that class. On Wednesday, we have a guy that's really, really good at getting commercial art gigs. I mean, I think he's in Texas border, Arizona, and I think this guy's got his art in like 27 different banks. He's the master at it. I don't know how he does it. So he taught an in-depth class on that. And I'm telling you that story to say, at the end of all of these classes, we hit all our customers with a form. What other topics do you want to see covered? What can you learn that's better, right? And it's anonymous, and so I have no problem picking on this person. But this person said, can you please show me examples of artists that have had a great deal of success very early on in their career, not somebody that's been at it for 5+ years and has a bunch of social following. And that is the biggest problem in the entire industry, straight up. Somebody thinking that in the first couple of months or 6 months or 9 months or a year, fish are going to start jumping in your boat. It's easy. You're going to build a big sustainable business. And that mindset is the cancer. No one has the perspective for how long it takes to grow a decent business, especially a decent art business. So setting that perspective and getting you to stay focused and work and do so consistently, whatever hours you can give, 52 weeks a year, year after year after year, is literally the only difference between the ones that are successful and the ones that are not. It's not easy in the beginning, but given the climate that we're in, the galleries are obliterated. The in-person art shows do not look to be coming, the fairs and shows do not look to be coming back anytime soon. You can literally build a business, sell direct, but you just have to have those things in place. So that's sort of my impromptu rant. How do we raise hands to do questions? If your camera's on, you can do the old school, and I'll know you have a question. I get that. But there's like a little participants bar down at the bottom, and there's a way in Zoom you can digitally raise your hand, and that sort of lets me know in the queue. I've got the chat window up, so you can leave questions in the chat. If your camera's on, great. If you don't want to turn your camera on, totally okay. I hate being on video. I totally get it. So all of that's okay. But I'd love to just hear from you guys. What are you struggling with? Where's your business at? What are the next steps? What are you wondering about? You can ask anything about what we do. And Rocky's got her hand up first, so I'm gonna start with you. Rocky, go ahead. And yep, gotcha.
Okay, so this is some ideas that I'm floating around personally,
Okay.
and I'm still in the planning my future phase right now with all of this.
Okay.
And I'm planning on you guys being a part of it.
Okay.
But my question is, one of the big markets I see that's a possibility for my art is like online apps for like oracle cards and things of that nature, or tarot cards. Do you guys, any of your partners, have any kind of even just playing cards merchandise that they offer, or anything of that nature?
Yep.
They do?
Yep. This is, you actually let me, you teed me up, Rocky, unwittingly, and we'll get into it. Like merch has been like a big thing recently, and we're testing literally everything. So throw pillows.
Ooh.
Garment bags. The coffee cups. Puzzles.
Oh.
Puzzles even, right?
You're getting me excited now.
Calendars. And again, I had to use stock images for this because I didn't want to do any favoritism. But we one of the things that we literally has sort of come to terms with and evolved as a business recently is like, it's really hard to make it as an artist or a photographer. Not a lot
Yeah.
of huge success stories out there. At the end of the day, you guys are just creators, right? You're just creators.
Yes.
You have that talent with whatever it is, right? A lens, a camera, brush, lens and a camera. It's the same thing, redundant, or Steve with his sculptures. Our job at Art Storefronts, like how we measure success is called GMV. We stole it from Shopify. It's gross merchandise volume. It's the sum total of whatever that you sell on your website, right? And so what's interesting is that, okay, if you guys are just creators, and I know it's very difficult to make, my job is to come up with as many creative revenue sources as you guys could possibly have. And I don't care where they come from. I don't care if you're selling in galleries. I don't care if you're selling on online galleries. I don't care if it's a show and their circuit. I don't care if it's direct. I don't care if it's originals, commissions, prints, limited editions, any combination, or the merchandise. Our job is to give our customers as many possible revenue sources that there are out there. And so merch is the next big one that we're delving into and attempting to
Okay.
figure out. I like it from a sales standpoint. We've already seen a ton of success, but we this year, next year, the year after, we are going to add as many products as humanly possible. And
Okay.
again, like there's different strokes for different folks, right? Like a lot of fine artists
Yeah.
are like merch and poo at it. And I always answer that someone came on one of these sessions and goes, he said this to me, and I usually say this in my pitch because I like it. He's like, "Do you know who the biggest rock band in the world is?" And I was like, "No, who?" He goes, "The Rolling Stones." I was like, "Thank you for that." He goes, "Do you know what the Rolling Stones has at every concert?" I was like, "No, what do they have?" He goes, "A giant booth for merchandise. They sell millions
Exactly.
of it." He's like, "If the Rolling Stones can do it, I can do it." And you sit there and you think about it. How is it any different? They're artists. You guys are artists. You need revenue sources. You all want a big business. So, I don't care. We will add as many items as possible. We are steering the ship towards POD, print on demand, meaning drop shipping, meaning you don't have to hold inventory. You don't have to order a
Yes, I
thousand
don't want any
calendars and stick them in
inventory.
your garage. No, yeah. The joy is get the order, it prints, it ships, it goes, right? But
Yes.
everyone comes on. Aside from a gal that signed up, we have a gal that signed up 2 weeks ago, and she's going to start teaching classes too. That ran the merchandise for American Pickers. And I have never watched the show. I don't know what it is, but I hear it's a decent sized show and based on the sales figures. But everyone talks about merch. No one has the products. No one actually has the products on hand, do they? That you can show them,
Hmm.
right? And talk about them and everything else. And, I look at them two ways. One, when you contemplate merch, there's two things to focus on, okay? Number one, your store needs to have price point variability. You need to have cheap items and you need to have very expensive items. And the reason being, everyone's followers, mine, Williams, Tim's, Darren's, they all follow a bell curve. Down here on this part of the bell curve, lower income folks, lower
Yep.
middle class, upper middle class, high net worth individuals. So you want to have price points for all of them, right? And then just
Yes.
a business in general, the hardest thing to do is get a new customer. The easiest customer to get is the one that you already have. So you get a sale in the books, you continue marketing to them. At a point, they want a nicer piece, and you market consistently for years. And then not only that, it's great marketing swag and giveaway swag, right? Talking about a new piece, introducing a new piece. By the way, whoever leaves me the best comment right now, free set of gift cards, right? Or,
Yeah.
opt in, and you just grew 50 emails, right? So there's a lot to like about merch, but you also have to order your stuff on it because come to find out, sometimes the results aren't so good, right? I got a t-shirt back here that looks terrible, okay? I'm going
Yeah.
to
You
rip
got
it
to
up and
test it
wash my
out.
car with it. So you need to have some quality control, but there's some phenomenal opportunities. And it is sort of the trend du jour right now. Like, you look at every single solitary creator, especially like the people that are, like big on YouTube and such, and every one of them is opening a merch shop, right? Every single solitary one of them. They're all trying to figure out how to monetize their talents. And you guys are in the same boat. So that's our job. That's what we empower people to do.
Well, I think for like your there, you've probably among all your artists, you have some who are consider themselves spiritually inclined, and I've
Yes.
researched into this, and the only way to get if I wanted to do tarot cards, the only way that I could get it out is usually go through like a big publisher like Blue Angel or Hay House, and they don't accept
Yeah, I wouldn't, I
submissions
wouldn't, I
usually.
wouldn't waste a single solitary minute with that. I would get your tarot cards up on a website and attempt to sell some immediately and see if they sell. If they
Okay.
sell, and I wouldn't even figure out who I'm going to get to make them until I got the sale. I would get the sale,
Okay.
I would get the email, and I'd be like, Rocky, you're amazing. Thank you so much for ordering the tarot cards. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to double your order because I'm about to go with a new vendor and I want to test and see if their product is better. Can you hold on for a couple of weeks while I do that? Great, thanks. Then go find the vendor, but get the sale first because it might be crickets.
Okay. Well, thank you for the advice. I really appreciate it.
That's my pleasure, Rocky. You never know. Tarot cards could be an interesting angle. It's always good to start with demand and work backwards, right? And we have a bunch of people, at least in the Christian niche, that do like extremely well. Peggy Morris is asking how many artists do you represent? We don't really represent any artist. We just have customers, right? And we teach them we give them a website. We teach them how to market. So it's not like a representation, but I think we have probably close to 4,900 customers now, somewhere in there, 4,800 to 4,900, something like that. Who else? Questions? So Darren's saying, been thinking about puzzles, and I think I already have a market. I also already have a website. Then put the puzzles on your website and sell them, right? I think everyone, like, when I say everyone, I'm not pointing the cannon at you. I've done this 1,000 times in my life. The tendency is always to say, okay, I'm thinking about this thing, and what are all the things that I need to think about this thing? And I know, because I've been doing this for a long time, there's only one problem you have: selling the thing. Anything that comes after the fact is easy, Darren, is easy. Put them on your website and see if you can sell them. If you sell them, worst case scenario, and you don't have a vendor picked out yet, just be like, Darren, thanks for the order. I had no idea these things would even sell. I don't even have the vendor. Can I go and find one and I'll ship you one, right? And I'll keep the deposit. Because what everyone likes to do is stress about all the nonsensical things that prevent you from taking that product to market and figuring it out. So that's what I would do. That's how I'd approach it. Yep, got you, Steven. You'll have to unmute again. I'll let you know when you got it. Yep.
Very good.
Yep, gotcha.
Yeah, so I've been doing sculpture for about 8 years.
Mm-hmm. How do you sell them primarily now?
I've mostly always done outdoor art shows.
Yeah.
My market is South Florida.
Okay.
Down there, I do really well. So yeah, I haven't been down to Florida in 2 years. Just personal things, going through divorce, a bunch of things going on right now. I just have not been able to make it back down there.
Yeah.
Being gone, I mean, 3 years ago, I did like 25, 26 shows.
Awesome.
Not in a row, but throughout the year. So that's a lot of time being away from home. So
yeah.
What I did is I got a local job as a refinish technician, basically painting cars. Kind of falls in the same boat.
There you go.
And that was kind of picking up the slack. So I had to put the art on the back burner for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So with COVID, there's less cars on the road. There's not as many accidents. Things have really slowed up with work. So it's given me the freedom now to kind of jump back into doing art. And
Mm-hmm.
where my studio was at is where my house was that I moved away from, and when now I'm back. So
Mm-hmm.
I have more freedom to do more art. My inventory was very low, so I'm working on building that back up right now. But yeah, there's just not a whole lot of shows going on. There are still some shows going on right now, but with some friends,
the attendance is so far down, right? Like
circuit.
It's
if I would go down to do a show in Florida, that I mean, there's some shows down there I do $10,000. It wouldn't be worth it to go down there and for $2,000.
No.
I probably could have won. Probably could have done it this year, but it would have been a little tricky.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm probably going to hold off until a year from now, next January, February, March,
yep.
and work on building up my inventory. But aside from doing the shows, they've always been really good. But I kind of just want to focus on maybe doing some online sales right now and marketing. Yeah. I had a website. The company that had the website, they kind of messed some things up, and it's kind of a long story. But I've been using Facebook, which is it's working out pretty good.
Yep.
But yeah, I'd definitely like to focus on getting a website design, something clean, simple, modern.
Yep.
That type of thing. I'm also working on, a good way to photograph my art. It's just really hard because it's so reflective.
Yes.
Another issue I've had, getting very good quality images. That's always been
something. I don't know how to solve that one. That's an interesting one to even contemplate.
Very hard.
By the way, I just saw in the chat this is a very teachable example, so I want to show you this. In the chat, Darren goes, I would buy one of those sculptures in a heartbeat. I want you to send Darren immediately your PayPal and Venmo and say, all right, here are the prices. Let's get this transaction over the line right now, right? Because everyone always tells me, like, and I'm not picking on you or Darren. I'm just going down the tangent. Everyone always tells me like, I get all these people asking me, pricing and prints and sizes, and I'm sitting there going, "What are you doing on this call with me? Email those people back. You have PayPal, you have Venmo. Let's get a sale over the line, right? Like, let's get some art sold." There's got to be a way to creatively photograph that. It's probably going to be someone that has like an infrared lighting setup or something that just doesn't reflect. I don't know. Or, worst case scenario, just take the photos with the iPhone, right? Like, if I'm you, because it's sculpture, the majority of your sales, people are going to want to talk to you and like have a conversation and probably see it. I would try to do as many different Zoom calls with potential buyers and show them the inventory as possible.
Yeah. So,
but we could definitely help you with the website, and we could definitely help you with the marketing, which is, your biggest problem. It's everyone's biggest problem, like I said.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Shipping is another issue I've had. Yeah. I shipped one piece out yesterday, and it can be tough. It's very expensive too. I shipped a piece out to Florida yesterday. But that's another kind of thing.
Issue of your business. The good news is with art, like, the Amazon deliver it for free to my doorstep in 2 seconds. Expectation is not as strong. Right? People understand that they need to pay for art shipping, so you should just be passing it on to your customers every time, which, by the way, takes care of the cost. Doesn't take care of your time boxing that thing, though, does it? Which is a pain in the butt. Yeah.
About 45 minutes because I've had pieces get damaged before, and it's a nightmare.
Yes.
Having
it is.
To do a claim and all that. And but it was about $270 to ship a piece to Florida yesterday. But I mean, it's insured and it's all that. And, they must sleep good tonight knowing that if anything happens to it, it's on them. So
I have someone on Facebook leaving you a comment that says, "I've photographed lots of sculptures for artists. Where do you live?"
Yeah, I'm in just south of Richmond, Virginia.
There you go, Paula. Just south of Richmond, Virginia. Sort of the cool thing about technology in today's day and age, right? Like, we're in a Zoom call. This thing's being streamed to Facebook. Somebody on Facebook heard that Steven's trying to figure out how to photograph. She's like, "Where does he live? I could do that." I mean, I like it. Yeah.
The iPhone 12 has actually done pretty good.
It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Yeah. We have the guy that, and I'm not sure 100% sure it's going to help you because we're talking about art, reproducing art rather than sculpture. But we have a guy that was his job for a long period of years, and so he wrote this like crazy in-depth article on all the various different ways you can do it, all the way from iPhone to drum scanning to everything in between, SLR, lighting stands, April will put it in the chat, and we'll also send it to you. And Stephen, if you want to, Paula lives in Wilmington, North Carolina, so if you want to send me your Facebook page, put it in the chat, and I'll put it on the Facebook comment, and probably be a good way to find her. Or, I don't know, if you have a Facebook page, Messenger is just awesome, right? So what I would do is go to our art store. Well, just put your Facebook page in and I'll send it to her.
Okay.
But we can definitely help you. You need to get going on the marketing, right? And even if the shows come back, you have to have your own email list. You have to have your own attention. You have to be working on building that part of the business, right? Because the pandemic is the perfect qualifier. Like, you cannot put all of your business's eggs in the proverbial basket where you don't control the rules, right? Like, the shows and theaters, like, toast, gone. There's nothing you can do about it, right? Like the online, like the retail galleries, all of a sudden closed. There's nothing you can do about it. Well, in all of that, if you had your website and you have a decent email list, you can continue to be working, continue to be marketing, and continue making sales, which is the most important thing, right? But it just takes time to build all that up.
Mm-hmm.
And send a DM immediately to Darren and get that sale over the line.
Yeah. Let me write that down.
Yeah. But put your Facebook page in here, and Paula can contact you.
Okay.
Unless that was it. You have any others?
Other than that, I mean, I mostly sell originals. I don't do any print. Somebody, you should do prints. I'm like, nah. It's all original
sculpture. It's hard, right? Like, you're selling originals, commissions, and originals.
Yeah.
But I like what you have going on. I think it's an interesting niche, and it's interesting to me in the sense that, garage art, like matching their classic car, you could match the paint color, like a sculpture to match it. Like, there's some angles there.
Yeah, I did a commission for a guy who was, he had a Ferrari, and, he did an Italian theme, and it's, incorporated some carbon fiber, and kind of, he had a Ferrari F430. So his whole garage was an F430 theme. And, so we did a sculpture piece based on, his car, and incorporated, the Italian flag and some color. So it was really
awesome.
cool.
Definitely need those photos on your website. Usually, I use the term usually with air quotes. The Ferrari people are good people to sell too. You can charge lots of money and the checks don't bounce. Again, usually.
No.
Yeah. All right, put your Facebook in the chat. I'll send it to this gal, and yeah, if you're interested, we can totally help. Just request a demo, because we do have a Valentine's Day sale running, I think, for the next, when is Valentine's Day? Friday? Is it this weekend? Should know that. I'm going out of town though. My wife's fine. My wife will be happy. Yeah. And thanks, Steven. Okay, Noreen, you had your hand up and then you put it down. I'll unmute you. Go ahead. And you'll have to hit. Yep, gotcha.
Hi, I mean, this is really interesting discussion. Thanks a lot. I'm the first timer here. Just to let everyone know, my background also. I'm working with the United Nations.
Okay.
And I'm the Global Chief of Humanitarian Emergencies with UNICEF.
Cool.
So traveling all over the world. So cannot really say where I'm based, other than I live in Manhattan, close to UN. I have a background of being a painter, international artist. I have displayed in many countries, but my time is now absolutely limited after COVID pandemic, because I'm also in the global response team, so you can imagine. But then a lot of inspiration also about what's happening on ground in the countries where there are already a lot of emergencies and people are, dying beyond COVID.
Yes.
So just to let everyone know that I have been painting a lot, working from home, really looking at New York as, a city with so many lights, but then nobody in the streets. So, so that really inspired me. You can see one of my paintings in the background. That's one of the color sketches that I do.
Have you tried selling it? Have you tried selling any of them yet?
Oh, yeah. So I was coming to that. So somebody's working on my website. We just kind of updating it because there was a lot of work that wasn't put up on my website, and I do painting on silk as well. It's again direct painting on silk. I do a lot of silk scarves, but that are more like piece of art. And then with bags and so many different things that I feel like doing. I'll do a lot of collage. And really spontaneous, big pieces of art with charcoal and all. And so my question from you was, I had a question here, and somebody here already guided me. I was torn between scanning the artwork and doing the photography, and both of them are actually very difficult for me, mostly because of my schedule. But really, where to go and get it done when you have art pieces, original paintings, really carrying them in Manhattan. I don't know how to really deal with all that. So what do you advise if there are any services that could be provided to me? I have a lot of original paintings with me. I do a lot of calligraphy as well, by the way, Arabic calligraphy, which is very unusual. It's a form of painting. But I wanted services of a full marketing strategy, but also getting to the buyers who buy artwork from galleries. How do I get into that market? Would like to hear from you.
Yeah, so on the photographing side, there's multiple schools of thought on how to approach the whole thing, right? Like, I would just take pictures with your iPhone. I would get them all up onto the website. I would start marketing them and worrying about selling them. If I sold them, then I can worry about taking the next steps in terms of photographing it for reproduction. You can do it with a camera and get incredible prints out of it. You can do the drum scanning if you want to do the drum scanning. You can start with the photography and move to the drum scanning later. So all of those options are available to you. In terms of what was the second part of the question? I was going down a rant, and then somebody rang my doorbell, took me off the train of thought. The second question was, I'll have to unmute you again. Yeah, I'll get you next, William.
Yeah, that was on about selling artwork.
Yeah, so you need to start.
Presentating.
Yeah, you need to start marketing it, right? That's what we teach all year long, right? Like, you know, we get you set up on the website. You're good to go. You're taking credit card. You have all the bells and whistles, and then it's into active marketing and driving eyeballs in traffic. And in your case, you know, we'd have to creatively figure out how to best leverage your day job, right? We have a gal that works at NASA that's a photographer, and I'm constantly like needling her, like, can you put your art next to the space shuttle and take some photos? Would that be possible, right? Like, everyone has different, you know, assets, resources that are available to them that are not available to other people. So that's something to think about. But you need to do active marketing, right? Art's not going to sell itself. So that's what we teach all year long. Okay, William, you're up next. Go ahead. And then Ruth, I'll get you. I saw you had a bunch of questions in the chat. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm brand new to marketing. That's my big problem. I just set up a web page.
Yep.
I've been on Fine Art America for like 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And during the pandemic, it took off. It went crazy.
Awesome.
I do a lot of historical photography.
Okay.
And I also do a lot of wildlife.
Okay.
And my thing is just, I got marketing and I get it out on Twitter, Facebook, and some things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still trying to figure out how to get more. Like, should I buy product and get it? And like, my website, I don't have anything like, mugs, like you were showing t-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
I've talked to other friends about putting out a calendar. But there's a market out there. It's just reaching to them,
Yeah. That's why I said the marketing problem is the biggest problem. That's what we solve.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would say when you say Fine Art America took off, how much, if you don't mind me asking, how much did you sell in Fine Art America? Like rough monthly average?
If I got, I only get a certain percentage of that. If I'm telling you, I probably tripled my sales since March.
That's great. Yeah.
Easily. I mean, it blew right out. And if I would have got all the money that they got and not a cut of it, I probably made around $5,000.
It's great. Yeah. I mean, the problem is if you can get one of the online galleries working for you, it's awesome. The problem is that you don't retain that customer information, right? And you can't market to them. You don't know who your buyers are, and you're left with very little. So if you have it working, great. What we advise people is if it's not working, get your stuff off there immediately, because all they're doing is showing up in Google as the number 1, 2, 3 results for your name. So, but if you get it working, it's good. But you're in the same boat that everyone else is, right? You got to get your site up on a website. Ours are significantly better than anyone else's out there, and then you move right into active marketing. That's it, right?
So what do I do? Just get a link from you guys, and that's how we do it?
Yeah. April will put a link in the chat, and then we'll also email you one after the fact, and you can just request a demo. You fill out a little form. You say, hey, here's my website. Here's what I do. Here's my name. Call me. And then our outreach team will do like a 10, 15-minute exploratory call. You can ask all the questions about the various different plans, what we do, all the bells and whistles. And then if everything looks good, you schedule the demo. The demo takes like an hour and goes through in depth, like all the bells and whistles and ins and outs that we have of the software. We have the pretty seriously robust, software, just all of it. There's a lot that we do to help artists and photographers and sculptors become successful.
It sounds good.
Yeah.
And I definitely will.
Yeah. Thanks, Wayne.
Thanks a lot.
Okay. Andrea, you're next, and then I promise I'll get into these chat questions too. So go ahead, Andrea. Gotcha.
Hi.
Hi.
So I have a focus on comics, graphic novels, and so on like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have single image pieces that I'll put up. I'll do random commissions because I can. But how does your site translate for publishing comics? Like, would I be able to put
all
up
day,
copies
all
of
day,
my
all
books?
day, all day. We are set up out of the gates to specialize in selling wall art, but it's also just an e-commerce shopping cart at the end of the day, right? Like when you think of the merch products, no different than selling a book, no different than selling, ladies' handbags or swim fins or golf clubs or anything else. And so you can do all of it.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I think that's a good angle too, by the way. The graphic novels and sort of the comic books and that whole world. There's a ton of diehard fans of those things, which I think is very interesting. Okay, hold on. Who was it? Was it Ruth, I think? Was it Ruth? I thought it was Ruth. Yeah, Ruth, I'm going to unmute you. Are you there, Ruth? Because you had a bunch of questions. You'll need to hit the microphone icon, bottom left-hand corner. Are you there, Ruth? Maybe Ruth's not there. I can just kind of go through her questions one at a time. Okay, I got William. I got Darren. Print on demand is very interesting. You watch Meg. Yep. Yeah, Ellen, print on demand is the only way to go, right? Like, worrying about printing any other way is just, you just end up spending a bunch of time that's not going to help you grow your business in the slightest. So we're huge advocates of it. That being said, you can do anything with us, right? Like, if you're an artist that's just doing originals, obviously you're gonna fulfill those. You're gonna ship those to your buyers. If you have a local printer that you really like, you can use your local printer. No problem there at all either. If you want to integrate with ours, then when you sign up, you get your website up. It's a one click of a button. You're integrated with one of our print partners, and they handle 100% of the prints, meaning you get an order, you get paid, the printer gets paid, the printer prints your order, puts it in a box, slaps your logo on the side of it, and ships it off. You don't have to touch anything, which is a great way to go. Okay, Ellen, I think we answered the photographing the work. We're going to send you that article. Okay, so Bonnie, I just want to sell original computer modified photographs using print on demand. Do you have a market for that? It's not whether or not we have a market for that, Bonnie. It's whether or not a market exists for that, right? Like, early on, if you've never tried to sell them, you don't know what you don't know. You have to attempt to take those things to market and see if you can sell them. And no one can tell you if they will or if they won't, right? Like, only the market can tell you. You have to get those products to the market and find out. Bonnie, what is the Valentine's Day pricing? I don't know, but I know it's a pretty decent deal going on right now. I think it's quite a bit off of what we're normally charging, so you'd have to request a demo to find out. Rhonda takes payment through Square. Yeah, so Rhonda, on the websites, on our websites, pretty much everyone integrates with Stripe. Stripe is like one of the biggest online merchant providers, and you set up for a Stripe account. You can take all of the credit cards. It integrates instantaneously with your bank account. All the money comes from your site, goes directly into your bank account. So that's how it works. You can certainly still take Square in certain situations, especially locally. But yeah, that's what we advocate everyone does. Okay. How much does that cost? Ellen, I'm not exactly sure what you're asking. How much does that cost? I'm going to unmute you, Ellen. Are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, gotcha. What were you asking? How much does what cost?
How much does it cost to sign up for this and have you build a website and have art storefront printing my artwork?
So here's how we do things. We are like any other website company in the sense that there's a monthly fee, right? So I'll tell you what those rates are in a second. We charge an upfront fee, which essentially pays for your marketing education for life, what we call the Art Business University, which is, normally I play this like video that introduces everything at the top, and I was lazy today about it. We'll send it after the fact, but just to give you an intro, we teach you how to market all year long and teach you how to grow the business all year long. It's via Zoom sessions like this. It's via courses that you can learn at your own pace. Courses on how to go live on Facebook, how to spruce up your Instagram profile, how to run an email marketing campaign, how to run a sale, how to run Facebook ads, how to go live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube all at the same time, what software to do that, how to have a live art show. So we have playbooks that we call, they're essentially online courses. We have Zoom sessions like this, literally on a weekly basis, multiple, including Saturdays, that you can pop in and get support, that we teach on various different subjects. And so it's sort of an art business university of sorts. And so what we do is we charge a tuition fee to essentially get into that art business university that you pay one time, and then you just pay a monthly fee. And so the plans start, the cheapest plan is at like $1,000 a month, or $1,000 to get into the university. This is the easiest way to explain it. $1,000 one time, and then I think it's $39 or $49 a month, depending on what's going on with the sale. In terms of the POD, you pay nothing. You pay nothing. When an order comes in, the money hits your bank account. The money immediately goes to the printer. The printer prints it and ships. That's it. Done. And that's the same for merch as it is for anything that you would do from a print standpoint. If you do are you a photographer or artist?
Artist
Artist,
and
yeah.
photographer.
And
Yeah.
Double threat. Love it. How do you go about selling your stuff now?
It's really word of mouth.
Yeah.
When people see it, they want to see it in person. So
yeah, always.
I used to do art shows, but I've been selling more real estate now than art. So, but I did just have someone that said I'd like that as a reproduction because I don't want to spend, $2,500 on the original.
Yeah. Have you considered staging the houses with your stuff?
That's a great idea.
It's a great idea, right?
Yeah.
And like you have multiple sales to be made on every single solitary person that tours the house.
Right. And Compass is who I work with, and they are very much like art storefront, as if like they have tutorials that you can catch up on, and sales calls every week and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Teams.
that's actually like a super great way. And like a lot of these houses are nice, they're all doubled up, great place to take photos of your art on the wall, whether or not you say another satisfied customer, you could just say my art on another happy home. I've done some crazy things in my marketing days, right? Like, early on when you don't have like a really high-end house to put your art on, and you rent a room at the Four Seasons, and you take all the art off the wall and you put your stuff on, and you're like, here's another satisfied customer. You got to get hacky sometimes early on, okay? Yeah. So that's how we do it. But, again, no different. What is the most important thing that you could possibly have in your real estate business? Leads, prospective buyers, right? No different than the art business. It's all marketing. So that's what we teach all year long. That's what we do.
Is art storefront like HubSpot?
Ish.
Like
yeah. Ish. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just more nuanced to selling art and photography, which is not like, normal traditional digital marketing. Yes, there's some aspects that are shared, and, much like how HubSpot started out, and keeps growing and getting better. We're sort of on that same track too, where we just keep adding more features and more features and more features and getting involved more aspects of the marketing stack. We just recently, last like year and a half, we've come out with this thing. I usually talk about it up front because it's kind of complicated, but it's called, HubSpot made me think of it. It's called Art Buyer AI, right? And the easiest way to think about it is, let's say, Ellen's art site is the Apple Store, right? Art Buyer AI is just basically a video camera in the upper corner of the Apple Store watching your visitor. And so let's say I walk into Ellen's store, which is really the Apple Store, and I look at an iPhone 12, and then I go and I look at a MacBook Pro, and then I go and I look at an iPad, and then I buy the iPhone 12 and I leave. So our software identifies that I did that, and instantaneously it prompts you with a little pop-up box, and it'll say, Ellen, Patrick just walked into the store. He looked at the iPhone 12, looked at the MacBook Pro, looked at the iPad, bought the iPhone 12, and left. And then we will fill a little box with sample email language, right? And it'll say, hey, Patrick, it's Ellen. Thank you so much for buying the iPhone 12. I really appreciate having you as a first-time customer. Just to let you know, I did see that you were also looking at the iPad and the MacBook Pro. I do a special bundle for first-time customers. So if you wanted to get those two items, be more than willing to talk about them. If not, no worries. Really do appreciate your business. By the way, how did you find me? And then all you have to do is click send, or you can edit the text. And so, HubSpot has a bunch of features like that, where we have a bunch of features like that too.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I'm still going through the questions. Yeah, somebody was asking the Valentine's Day sales prices. I don't know. You have to request a demo. I can't even keep things straight. I stay out of their world. They stay out of mine. But the demo is literally you fill out the form. They call you. It's like a 10-minute call. You get all your questions answered. If you like what you hear, great. If not, they'll never call you again. It's not like the high pressure salesy type of outfit. So there's that. Okay. I think that mostly covers it all. I think I got Bonnie's questions too. Yeah, I think that covers it. Other questions? Anyone? Lionel, Rhonda? Oh, there we go. Darren's in. Darren had to conduct some business to get his first sculpture, and he's about to be back in just a second.
Yeah, it was. I'm revisiting the puzzles bit again.
Yeah.
If I had thought about, like, currently I'm selling prints through Shootproof.
Okay.
And they go, and the orders go through Shootproof. They go to a place that prints, frames, does everything, ships everything out.
Yep.
This puzzle thing again, I've still got that on my mind. It with regard to art storefronts. If I just want to get started there, I'm thinking about just getting started and then building it as I go. And maybe it's just I need to sit through a demo, but I'm wondering what it would take for me to get going from that perspective.
I somehow muted myself. What do you mean when you say just get started? Like the
just think about just selling, making like a niche of just focusing on getting started with puzzles.
Oh,
I just want to put some puzzles out there, some photos, and folks can get a puzzle based on this photo.
Yeah, I would order a puzzle from one of the vendors. I would go to Facebook. I would turn the camera on, and I'd be like, "Look at that cool metal sculpture behind me." Anyway, here is my puzzle, a brand new offering, right? That I'm doing. I'm just trying to gauge interest. These things are super fun. Any of my images are available on it, and see, right? Like you could get out this call and go order one and get it going right away. That's what I would do.
How do I do that? Because I don't even know how to.
So Google POD puzzles. POD is print on demand. That's what I would do. And there's going to be a number of huge vendors out there that will give you the ability to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
How is Shootproof going for you? Do you like that software?
I like Shootproof in general. I don't think, and I'm just getting started. Most of my sales come through a shoot. So like there was a bunch of ladies I graduated from high school with, they wanted to do a shoot. So I did a 2-hour shoot, put all the prints out there for people to order, and I get a ton of orders that come through that. So that's mostly how those things go so far, that the sales really the shoot ends up being a foundation. And then there's a X number of sales come through a shoot. And then they eventually start to fall off. And then beyond that, there are people who know that I do shoots. They love the shoots of the shots of the flowers, macro shots of flowers, and people will come out there periodically and order some of those, and that's it. But I want to set up this residual kind of a passive income. That's why I've been wanting to establish something like that, and I think that something a little bit more niche like puzzles is a bit different. And I have not seen a lot of puzzles that include photos and the type of things that I seem to specialize in. Yeah.
I think it'd be a cool offering. But I do think I appreciate the angle of your business. And I tell this story from time to time. It's infuriating. We don't have the product completely cooked yet at Art Storefronts, but we're sort of mapping it out. But one of my best friend's wives is our resident local portrait photographer, right? She does everyone's Christmas cards. She does like this Easter photo session with the kids. And what does she do afterwards? She delivers a digital archive that everyone goes and gets printed elsewhere. And I'm like, what are you doing? I always yell at her, what are you doing? Get all of the media types on a table at the shoot and explain to your customers what they look like. You need to be able to show them. No one knows what these things look like, and no portrait photographers ever do this, and it infuriates me. My green screen is going to make this one look a little weird, but here's a paper print. This is on the table, right? You can get it framed, or you can just get the paper print and get it framed on your own, right? Next in the stack is canvas, gallery wrapped, ready to hang, thick, edge to edge, hangs on the wall, beautiful. Next in the stack, the newcomer on the block is metal. Beautiful detail, incredible. You can show it, zoom in. Ready to hang on your wall, no problem. Another new kid on the block, acrylic, also beautiful, whatever inches thick. Ready to hang on the wall, does not need to be framed. A stunning product. This is a wood print, 3/4 inch maple, such and such thick, ready to hang on the wall, right? So if you were doing the shoots, and you either did it yourself or you had an assistant, and you had all of the various different media types printed out with images of someone else's kids on it, and you say, in addition to the shoot, because you just did the shoot, I'll do a one-time print discount package of such and such, such and such, such and such. You can get it this way. Fine, done. Then keep their archive, okay, and get everyone's birthday that's involved in the shoots if they'll give them to you, right? And I'm a male. I hate going to stores. I hate purchasing things, okay? The minute I step foot in a mall, or pre-COVID, I stepped foot in a mall, an hourglass with sand has been turned over, okay? As soon as that sand runs out, I got to get out of there. I can't handle it in there. I hate them. So if this gal, who is the photographer, emailed me, okay, ahead of Christmas, a month and a half ahead of Christmas, hey, Patrick, here's a link to your entire archive. I just want to let you know that I'm doing a special Christmas prints special. So if you need to get a print of any of the archive of all of the photos that you've done for me, that I've taken for you for the last 6 years, or you want to get your mom something, or someone got a new vacation house, or you want to put some photos on top of the piano of the kids, I've got you covered. You don't need to do anything. Just let me know. Let me order it. And then better still, right ahead of my wife's birthday, I'm running late. Okay. Email me a month ahead of time and just go, hey, Patrick, here's the archive. If you want to get a print, we can do this, this, and this. Oh, by the way, I've got merch too. All of a sudden, you have a photo business, okay, where instead of trading dollars for hours, which every portrait photographer does, they just trade dollars for hours, you've actually built the possibility of residual income that can potentially come. Instead of just an average order value, AOV, of a shoot, which you charge $500 for, one, you might get them on the print sales during the time of the shoot. So your $500 average order value could go to $750, $850, $950, $1,000. But then also, you have recurring income coming every year, because 3 years from now, I might move out of my small apartment and I might say, you know what? I do want photos of my kids on the wall, and I would order a couple of prints from you, right? So we're actually building that aspect of our software right now for portrait photographers specifically to be able to do that. And I think that's going to be a monster business, right? A monster business, because there's so many of you guys that you have the relationships. You're known as the portrait guy. They call you year in, year out, same portraits. You have an incredible relationship. These people know, like, and trust you. So I think there's some incredible opportunities there. So that's what I'd say. That one gets me fired up. So Ellen, who sets up the website? There's a couple of different ways to do it. One, we know artists and photographers, and I joke about this, but it's sort of loosely true. And I'm going to unmute you again, Ellen. 3 biggest fears artist photographer's life, in order: death, taxes, and setting up another website. Okay, and setting up another website. No one wants to set up another website. People are stressed out even just contemplating it. So we approach it a couple of different ways. One, we have really, really, really good support if you want to do it yourself. We get people live in 14 days or less. If you don't want to do it at all, you can pay our team to do it. You can drop a logo, an about me text, the images in a folder with the descriptions, and they'll build the entire thing for you. So we've got options.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so on the website that you build, it's going to look like that girl, Megan, Meg
Knappenberger, yeah.
Burger.
Yeah. So, one of the things that we have figured out, which is kind of awesome, is like, what do most artists and photographers do? They're like, I need to build this beautiful website, and I'm going to spend so much time on it, and it needs to reflect my artistic integrity and, my style and everything else. And what do? They spend thousands with whatever developer, designer. They spend all this time, and the website doesn't sell anything. Why? Because they don't know what they're doing, right? We know what we're doing. All of our sites are dead simple. They are meant to mimic what it looks like, the art photography experience of walking into an art gallery. Minimalism, plain white walls, the art of center. And then we have all the bells and whistles that take care of everything else. The point in that is there's no customizing. There's nothing you need to do. You pick a theme, you get your logo up there, the about me, you fill the thing out, you start marketing. There's no working on your website for weeks and months and years. No. Live right away, announce the thing is live, we get going on the marketing. That's the game.
So can they still use ellenrolfing.com?
Oh, yeah.
Since I own that?
Yep. So the websites are hosted on our server, so you don't have to worry about any of that. All you do is you log into GoDaddy or register.com or wherever you got the URL, and instead of pointing it to where it is now, you just point it to ours, and you're up, you're done. Wow. The artist owns absolutely everything with us, which is how it has to be, right? Like that's the flawed aspect of so many other people's business models. It's like, you own the domain. Yes, you're responsible for the marketing. We teach you how to do that. All of the traffic and the links and the link juice and the SEO stuff, all of that is pointing towards you. You own all the customer data, right? You're capable of marketing to these people in perpetuity for the rest of your life, which is critically important. So yeah, that's the ballgame.
So however Meg Kappenberger did it, I
Knappenberger,
just
yeah.
want to spend the exact same amount of money and have the same results.
Yes. Yeah. She's
So
a machine. She's amazing. She's absolutely amazing.
she does it. You guys made it look really easy, and that's why I'm on this call. So
Nothing's really easy. I love that we got away with making it look really easy. But yeah, you have the roadmap and you have the blueprint. And if you're, in Meg's case, Meg really figured something out. She teaches classes on it, which is awesome. She really figured out something that's amazing. And, again, she teaches it. So you can copy her recipe if you're so inclined. But yeah, hers is an amazing story. She's the one that figured out image licensing really early on and really hit it out of the park. But I'm not kidding. I have an entire class that she just teaches on image licensing, which is amazing. So when I say like we've got the marketing education piece covered, we have it and then some. And by the way, it's not like you're just watching some boring class. You're watching the class and then you're saying, how did you do this, Meg? What would be your advice about this? And then Meg actually responds to you, which is, pretty cool.
thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Okay, I gotta keep going with my mutes here. Sometimes when I do it this way, there we go. Okay, Andrea, you're up again. Go ahead.
Hi. So I wanted to go back to the timeline. I mean, I'm working full time, just outside of my art. And then I spend my weekends working on my art. So getting this all set up, you were saying earlier that it would take a little bit longer than most people expect. I'm not expecting like next week I sign up and then boom, I've got, I can just quit my day job. It would take about a year or two?
Yeah, that's for sure. It's hard, right? I get this question all the time and everybody wants like, can you give me pricing tables or ROI or, what the average return on investment is or how quickly people are successful. And there's no rhyme or reason to it. Everyone has a different path, right? Everyone has a different set of circumstances, what their niche is, what their market is, what they come into the equation with. And so it's a crystal ball question, right? It's no different than my mom. My dad died like 15 years ago. It's not a sob story. He had a great life, but my mom will go in and ask the financial advisor, he's going to have enough money for retirement, right? He doesn't know. It's a crystal ball question. Like depends on how things are going to market are going to go. It depends on how much money you're going to spend. It's different for everybody. So all I can say, we can't answer those questions for you. No one can answer those questions for you. Anyone that does is selling you snake oil. What I can tell you is we will stack the deck in your favor to the best of our ability and give you the best chance at making it. Ultimately, it's going to come down to a bunch of different questions and then, of course, how much work you put into it. But we believe that you stand a much better chance with us in that capacity than you would with others. It's sort of what we think.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. But I would also say too, Andrea, don't we want people to be as successful as possible. Now, obviously that maps to their individual ambitions to a certain extent, but the way that we like to think about it is like, you don't want to quit your day job anytime soon. You want to invest all the time, energy, and effort back into your marketing business that you can, such that the business will continue to grow and grow and grow and grow into something much bigger and larger that you're really happy with. So that's one of the ways that we like to think about it anyway. What else? Other questions? I think I got all of them in the chat. Somebody has called me a lovely name on social media. Thank you for that, buddy. There's nothing better than the trolls on social media. No matter what you do, they show up. So is this like Etsy? No, it's not like Etsy. Etsy is an online gallery where you upload your stuff. You don't do anything. They're supposed to bring you customers, of which you don't get to keep the data on. We are quite a bit far away from that. It's your own website. You own everything, Christian, and you're responsible for marketing it. We teach you to do that. So that's how that goes. All right. We have people popping in the last second. So when this thing ends, what we'll do is we'll get any of the links that we mentioned, any of the resources, plus like a replay to this, plus, the introduction that we didn't put in up front, and we'll send all of it to you in an email with some of the highlighted questions. And you can watch that at your leisure if you're so inclined. Yeah, Jim, you popped on right at the end, my friend, right at the very end of it. We've been going for like, an hour or so. But if you have any questions, Jim, if because I just saw you pop on, you can ask. But yeah, we'll email you the replays and all the various different things. That'll be there. And yeah, I'm trying to think. I think that's it. We'll send you some links to some stuff to look at too. We put out a pretty cool weekly live show called the Art Business Morning. It's totally free. Got some great tactical advice in it. Something to look at. So yeah, but other than that, guys, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you spending some time with me on a Friday. Hope it was enlightening in one capacity or another, and we'll send you an email afterwards in just a few. But thanks everybody, and have a great weekend. Rest of your day. Bye now.